Welcome to Radio 1 International. Today we're diving deep into Marvel's most daring new chapter, Thunderbolts. With Phase 5 of the MCU in full swing, and fans craving a fresh perspective, Marvel Studios has taken a massive leap with this gritty, character-driven ensemble film. But does it pay off? Can Thunderbolts breathe new life into the franchise? Buckle up, because we're unpacking all the action, emotions, and surprises from this wild ride. Thunderbolts flips the superhero genre on its head by assembling a team not of noble crusaders, but of deeply flawed antiheroes burdened by their pasts. This isn't a traditional ensemble of caped icons saving the day. It's a volatile mix of broken individuals trying to find purpose, redemption, or simply survive. Think of it as Marvel's version of a Suicide Squad, but laced with a distinctly emotional core and a more grounded sense of humanity. These are characters who aren't fighting for glory, they're fighting to make peace with themselves. At the heart of the team is Yelena Belova, still raw with grief over the loss of her sister, Natasha Romanoff. Her reluctant decision to join the mission isn't driven by duty or patriotism, but by a quiet desperation to channel her pain into something meaningful. Alongside her is Bucky Barnes, the former Winter Soldier, whose haunted past clings to him like a shadow. He's a man at war with himself, struggling to reconcile who he was with who he wants to become. Their dynamic, unspoken, guarded, and yet profoundly empathetic, becomes a subtle thread binding the team together. Director Jake Schreier, best known for Paper Towns and various music videos, brings an indie filmmaker's eye to a blockbuster franchise. There's a restraint to his direction, a refusal to let CGI overwhelm character. Each frame feels intentional. Working alongside Beef creator Lee Sung-jin on the script, Schreier crafts a narrative that feels deeply personal, often more like a psychological thriller than a superhero film. The cinematography is gritty and grounded, favoring natural light and handheld shots that pull you closer to the characters. The score, understated and haunting, weaves quietly through scenes, often relying on silence to do the heavy lifting. There are long pauses where no one speaks, just glances, movements, the rustling of wind. Flashbacks come in slow, fragmented waves, more Terrence Malick than Joss Whedon, capturing trauma not through exposition but through emotion and memory. This movie doesn't rely on spectacle to tell its story. There are no sky beams or massive portals in the sky. Instead, it leans into character flaws and fractured relationships. Each member of the Thunderbolts is battling a ghost, some literal, others internal, and the film makes room for those battles to play out in full. The tone is dark and mature, echoing the spirit of A24 films like The Green Knight or The Lighthouse. Battling a ghost, some literal, others internal, and the film makes room for those battles to play out in full. The tone is dark and mature, echoing the spirit of A24 films like The Green Knight or The Lighthouse, but with Marvel's signature accessibility and narrative clarity. It's a risky blend, but one that pays off beautifully. By focusing on psychological depth over visual bombast, Thunderbolts carves out a new identity for Marvel, one that suggests the studio is finally willing to evolve. Fans are calling Thunderbolts a breath of fresh air. Social media has exploded with reactions, praising the film's emotional depth, mature storytelling, and its focus on flawed characters over flashy CGI. Hashtags like hashtag Yelena for President and hashtag Bucky Deserve Better have trended multiple times since the film's release. Reddit threads are filled with thoughtful analysis, and even some longtime MCU critics are giving Marvel credit for evolving its formula. The general consensus? More of this, please. Thunderbolts might not be your traditional Marvel movie, and that's exactly why it works. It's brave, it's introspective, it's messy in the best way. By shifting focus away from world-ending threats to internal battles, it redefines what a superhero film can be. It may not be for everyone, especially those expecting a quippy, CGI-heavy joyride, but for those who appreciate character-driven storytelling, it's a game-changer. Thanks for tuning in to Radio 1 International. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Thunderbolts, hit that like button, share it with your fellow MCU fans, and don't forget to subscribe for more reviews, interviews, and film talk. Until next time, this has been your inside look at the world beyond the screen. Stay curious, stay cinematic.
94.3 Radio 1.